Alright folks, we are back. Happy New Year. Mojo-Synthesis are back. Today, we got the Husky Assassin and my mans,
Tony.
We here. Tony, what are you presenting to us today, my guy?
Oh God, we haven't done this one yet. Now, you all know I'm a big Maiden fan, right? And there's a rule about when you're a Maiden fan. When you're a huge Maiden fan, there's another band out there that you just kind of like. All right, those of you, bunch of you probably know where I'm going with this. Today we're gonna go with some Judas Priest. Okay, so now when I came up and when I was coming up, when you're a big huge Maiden fan, Priest is okay. If you're a big huge Priest fan, Maiden's okay. But the song we're doing today is off an album which is one of my personal favorite albums of all time. That album is Painkiller, and this is one of my most favorite songs off this album. I want to share it with you today. Really great. I don't know how much you know of Judas Priest. You probably are more familiar with older songs like You've Got Another Thing Coming, Breaking the Law. Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law. There's no way you haven't heard that song. Head Out to the Highway. There's a bunch of older songs that you would have heard. Chances are, chances are you've never heard this song. In fact, I'm willing to bet on it. All right, I'll get into all about what's great about this song and this album, and what's special about Priest after this. But are you ready to get right into this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. This is a bit of a longer one today. We're gonna let the whole thing go. All right, we're gonna let it go. So let's get set up in here and look at that album cover.
That album cover is LB.
Priest always had some cool album covers. This is one of the cooler ones, I must say. And yeah, man, let's do it. Hell yeah!
That was dope.
Hell yeah!
That was ill.
Fucking Priest, man.
Tell me about
Priest.
Judas Priest. Tell me about this.
All right, let's get the boys back up in here.
All right, my guy Tony, I'm gonna need you to tell me something about Judas Priest.
All right, so I am not the foremost expert on Judas Priest, but what I can tell you is, Judas Priest has been around 50 years now. That's 50 years. These guys are heralded as one of the pioneers of what we know as heavy metal these days. Back in the day, probably more of a hard rock-ish kind of sound, like that 70s harder stuff. Coming into the 80s, they really started to come into their own with some big time stuff. The album British Steel, the album Screaming for Vengeance, just some really, really great stuff. And then in 1989-90, they come out with this album Painkiller, which just grabbed me. It grabbed, every song is a winner. You know how you get that album once in a while? Just every song on the album crushes it. Totally crushes it. And that's what this album is for me. That song did that for me. That's actually the last song on the album. I really enjoyed. When I was 1989, 1990, I was 14, 15 years old, playing football, playing sports. And this was the kind of pump up song that was like really great. You know what I mean? I still hear the battle cry. I still see the banners fly. You're getting ready to go out in the field. You know what I mean? This is what you want to listen to. Yeah. But even still today, in the music, it's that very much kind of, very majestic, the way that sounds. So yeah, it was a good one for me. But as far as, Priest has done so much. They were the first band to be really known for their dual guitars. KK Downing and Glenn Tipton, also known as Tipton and Downing, really dueling guitars, harmonized guitars, and then they became rivaled by Dave Murray and Adrian Smith. Those are my twin guitar attack guys from Iron Maiden. All right, it's a Priest video here. All right, I won't go too crazy on the fan rivalry, but it's all good. But yeah, Priest is still around. You heard of Rob Halford? Okay, so we talk about cultural stuff on Mojo-Synthesis. So those of you who are all metal fans out there, you all know this. So Rob Halford is gay. Okay, he was the first guy to really come out from that genre of music as being a full-blown, I don't give a fuck what you think, this is who I am. And it was always great. It was always well received. Halford is, you talk to Priest fans, Halford's God. And it was interesting because he came out in probably the early mid 90s, I think, which was much different than coming out today, but it was just kind of like he was just like, fuck you. And yeah, man. So, a pioneer with that, the band, a pioneer with the music. I mean, we'll do more Priest stuff as time goes on, but what are your thoughts?
I like the dueling guitars that you mentioned. I love the guitar. I love the guitar sounds. How I always like how metal has this way of playing the guitar as a hook. Mm-hmm. So the guitar riffs take place of the hook before they go right back into the song. So that's pretty ill. It's pretty crafty to show the skill level of the music. It's a lot of music invested into a lot of those songs. This song in particular, always it caught my ear because I love the sound of metal guitars. So it's when it's entwined with hip hop and it has that combination, it's so dope to me. I love that.
Yeah, man, it's really, really good stuff on that song. And yeah, when you say the guitar is the hook, that is the riff. That's the art of the riff. When you talk about the art of the bar, right? Writing the bars and getting that down, and that's the hook. In this music, the riffs are the hook. And of course, you get some of the poppier stuff where you'll get much more melodic, a big chorus. And this, hey, don't get me wrong, this song has a huge chorus too. But my experience with most of metal music is that riff. My favorite songs, the riff grabs me way before the vocal patterns do. With tons of the stuff. A lot of the stuff that we played on here already, it's just, that guitar or the bass comes in and it's just, yeah, that's it. And then everything else just enhances that. So, yeah, man.
I appreciate all the sounds that how they combine, even with the voice, like as they engineer the voice and make it sound even. It always like this stands out with the guitars and how the metal guitar sounds so dope.
Right. What'd you think of his voice?
His voice is ill.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, his voice is
He's
ill.
got, so for those of you that don't know, Halford's got one of those voices that just can't be duplicated. For a while, so Rob Halford actually left the band for a little while, and they replaced him with another singer, and he sounded great. Like, he sounded really, really great. And he lasted a few years. They put out some really, really big time metal albums. And then eventually, just like all these bands, he came back into the fold, and they became whole as Judas Priest again. A couple of the guys have retired from them since then, and but they've gotten back on stage together. So it's been cool. I've seen them twice. I actually saw them on this tour in 1991. I didn't go specifically to see them. I went specifically to see Megadeth on the Rust in Peace tour. Okay. That was what I went for. But Priest was awesome. It was the first big time show I ever saw. And then I actually saw them another time when they were doing, I believe they were doing the whole British Steel album, which was pretty cool. And that was a while ago now too. But nonetheless, had great seats for that show. And it was awesome. So, yeah, man. That's all I'm going to give you on Priest today, unless you have another question for me.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
What year did this joint come out?
This one was 1990. It's either 89 or 90. Sorry. I'll put some kind of caption up here is going to say 89 or 90 up here, okay? Just so no one roasts me and said, Tony, how come you don't know what you're talking about? Good God.
Hey, be easy on my man in the comments.
Yeah. Come on. All right, good deal. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that one. It's one of my all-time favorites. I used to put my headphones on, wired headphones, not even earbuds, and I could listen to this song 4 or 5 times in a row just laying down with my eyes closed. And, that's how I listen to a lot of music.
But I put that joint in one of my workout lists, you know what I'm saying, to get me amped for a good workout.
Oh, big time. Even if you, I don't know, you get that played in the gym, a lot of you guys start going, yeah. So, that's all we got today for Mojo-Synthesis. I'll cut that out. I didn't know you were going to talk. Go ahead. What you got? I cut him off. What do you want? You know what? I'm going to leave this shit on. Okay, I'm going to leave the bloopers in here. All right? That's good stuff. Anyway, we are Mojo-Synthesis. That's what we got for you today. I'm Tony.
The Husky Assassin.
Hey, we'll catch you next time.